I just wanted to make a quick note before the episode begins. We had some audio trouble with this one. It's been fixed, so it should be all good next week, but for now it might be a bit of a pain in the bum. So we apologise, and we hope that you can still enjoy the episode. Okay, so here is episode 2 of Jak'd. Okay, we're all recording.
Big red button on. Uh-oh, I accidentally started the launch sequence. How do I abort? Oh my god, the missiles are about to strike.
There's no abort button.
I accidentally put in the nuclear launch code.
Wait, where are you? In the White House?
Alright, okay, World War III averted. We're good.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, episode 2 of Jak'd. We've got the news, mission by mission, and then we got listener feedback coming up. I'm Cherry Stace.
I'm Jesi.
I'm CJ the Lone Wolf.
And I'm Orestis. Nice to meet you.
Okay, news this week is centered around the new Jak 4 game that may or may not be announced soon. Any big news around that, or small, anything?
The big thing that's going to be announced in the next big PlayStation event, sadly, is going to be a new Silent Hill, and not the Jak and Daxter game. So we will. This is kind of a big news. I don't know if you're gonna cut that in the final edit because we cannot say that, or I don't know what. But Jak and Daxter is not gonna be summoned in the next PlayStation conference. I don't know what's the future for the series inside of PlayStation 5 Live, but for the time being in August we won't get any news. The rumors were there, but the official kind of rumor program for the event is having inside Silent Hill and not Jak and Daxter.
Silent Hill?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's such a shame.
I mean, we should have known.
Because everyone was saying, like the only clue I had is that guy working on the game that had already worked from Ratchet & Clank and Jak and Daxter games. I don't remember his name.
Well, I heard something about the leader of, or somebody's working, a big horror game producer right now is working on something, so they might be the same project.
I think it probably is because they want to revive Silent Hill from the beginning because we haven't seen any Silent Hill from PS2. So yeah, they're bringing back Silent Hill. So yeah, that's the big thing. Maybe we'll get a... Yeah.
It was because Mark Cerny was working on it, wasn't it? And he was big in the Jak and Daxter.
This is the... Sorry, CJ, tell.
Well, Jak and Daxter was just one of the many franchises that people speculated that he could have been talking about. There was never anything official that said it was going to be Jak and Daxter. People just assumed it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I really ran with it because I thought it's the 20th anniversary next year. Oh, I thought it'd be it. I so thought it was it.
Well, yeah, everyone was thinking about it, but sadly, we got leaked of the program of the PlayStation conference, which is going to happen in August, and no Jak and Daxter side. That doesn't mean that the hopes are dead for whatever comes in the future, but for the time being, no grand news about it.
Oh, that's sad.
Because we really needed another Silent Hill game.
Well, but believe I was as disappointed as you are right now. Like yesterday that I learned this news.
Yeah, there hasn't been a Silent Hill game since 2012, so I guess it has been a while.
Yeah, that's
but
kind of revived.
There's 8 games though. There's 8 games here in this main series, and then there's 4 spin-off games.
That's so annoying. They have had enough. Okay, so are we ready to move on to our mission by mission?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Great. Okay, so we've done the first mission with the eco-vents on Sentinel Beach. Now we're back in Sandover Village to check in with Samos and receive our next mission. So did anyone pick up anything like on the way there?
No, I don't really linger around anymore. I'm like trying to speed through this, honestly, see how fast I can finish this game.
When I play a game, I really want to get all the little details and stuff, so I'll go back and talk to the NPCs sometime just to see what they would say. If they'd say anything different, and usually Samus, he'll tell you like to get out of here and quit fooling around and tell Daxter to mop up the floors or something.
Thank God. Someone talked to Samos.
Yeah, at least once or twice.
Well, I also talked to Samos, but after I finished with the jump, the whole thing.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
if you did talk to Samos, you would know that the mission he tells you to do is to go and get the boat so that you can go to Misty Island because there's been a lot of lurker activity.
I love how Stamo's like, at the beginning, I told you not to go to Misty Island, but as soon as the game starts, he starts sending you on missions to every single dangerous place on the map.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Nice.
so weird.
He wanted to wait until Daxter's
very-
being was at stake before he started risking your lives.
It does seem like it.
Logic.
Well, anyway, when you're talking to Samos, he says, "Jak, it's time for you to prove your worth." I don't know, why would he be so expectant of Jak when he
Like-
knows...
Well, I mean, if you look at the residents of Sandover Village, it's not like any of them would really be able to take on lurkers and try to,
I know, but what
you know,
what worth is he saying he needs to prove?
I don't know. It's just something to think about.
I don't know. The artist Muse guy, he sounds like he could beat someone's butt.
Well, that's
he
true.
could wail on
maybe.
somebody.
Which
he could
one's
throw
he?
his
Is he on
giant
the-
marble block at him. He's like, dude, you failed my muse.
He's like right as you go out of Sandover Village.
Speaking
The
of
last
that,
time.
oh my gosh, that catch the mute. We'll talk about it when we get to Misty
Oh,
Island.
God.
But that's like one of my least favorite missions in this entire game is
Yeah.
trying to catch that muse.
Well,
Yeah.
well, actually, about my worst mission in the game, we're gonna talk today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you all know what it is.
Oh, are you talking about fishing?
I'm talking about the catch the damn fishes.
Oh,
Oh, I hate that. I hate that mini game. I remember I actually brought my PS2 over for Thanksgiving one year when I was playing Jak and Daxter because I was stuck on this mission and I was trying to beat it in the middle of dinner.
bloody hell.
Oh wow.
Well, yeah, kind of the same thing. I thought I stuck to that mission for weeks as a child.
Okay, so once we've talked to Samos, we make our way over to the jungle area. Is anyone having any initial thoughts about the jungle area? First things you noticed when you played it?
Snakes.
Snakes, yes.
Snakes!
Yes. Snakes and traps.
So the first thing I have to say is that when you reach that part with Snake and the dark music starts playing, you know you're in a harder level than Sentinel's Beach, which is a very relaxing experience overall.
Yes, I noticed that. Like I got it on my notes. Like the music, it's so suspensey.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot more percussion and like woodwinds and stuff in the jungle part.
Yeah.
I guess to try to make you more uneasy.
Yeah, I always feel
Exactly.
like
It sets
something's
the
about to
mood
happen.
for that mission.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
There's something about woodwinds too that are just really creepy.
yeah.
Like they use them a lot in X-Files.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
it is creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go. There are so many paths on that level. Which path did you take first? Because there's obviously like two main paths.
I go straight for the temple first when I
Did
go
you?
to the Forbidden Jungle.
I went like the snake way, and there's not really anything. You get to like a dead end because you need to get to the generator before you can start turning the beams, don't you?
Yeah.
That's where I went first. Yeah, the path all the way to the right. That has
What?
Snake from the
most of the
snake.
snakes and everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that's where the snakes are though. So I gotta go. I go the other way.
Yeah, that's actually that's a good fact that snakes are only on the right path. You don't find snakes anywhere in the level. There's only 3 snakes in the level, and they're all there.
Yeah. Well, I
Nice.
noticed if you take the route to the left, you know when you come up to the precursor drums, it's like, and you can jump from each one and you get to the main drum in the middle. Why do they make that noise? Why are they hollow?
Guess it's another one of those weird like precursor technology things. Just lets you know that the area is sacred or special.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe,
Yeah, that could be cool.
or maybe they kept something in them a while back.
Yeah. Maybe it's a property of the precursor metal or whatever it is that they're using. I don't know.
Or maybe the precursor robots are just playing the bongos. I don't know.
Maybe they needed to pass the time somehow while they're waiting for heroes to show up to battle.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
they were just all like, "Let's play the bongos with our giant mechs." It's like, okay, yeah, maybe.
And that's one of my favorite levels in Jak 3 when you have to battle the precursor robot. It felt like a throwback to this game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hated that
But,
level. Okay, so we also come across the dark eco boxes. I haven't played this game in ages. I got blown up by it. Did anyone even go near it?
Well, yeah, I wanted to say the same thing. That it's the first time you meet the dark eco box there, and of course, curiosity, you're gonna hit it, and you realize, oh, I take damage with it. So, yeah.
And what's that expression about curiosity killing the cat?
Yeah.
Definitely, the cat was
Yeah,
killed.
but this time it kills the Ochel. The Ochel? I don't know if I said it right. I mean,
Otso,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean what Daxter is, but I cannot pronounce it very well.
Speaking of which, can I just say that the health bar system in this game is broken?
Sucks. Yeah, it
What do you
sucks.
mean by the word broken?
You can only get hit like 2 times before you die.
No, you can get
Yeah,
hit
and
3 times.
they-
Yeah.
Well, you have to fill your heart bar up another 50 points in order to get that third hit.
Yeah,
Now, a lot of people don't know that. You can fill up all 3 of the parts of the heart, but you can increase it another, like, 50 points to get an additional hit in there.
right. Well, that makes 4 hits altogether.
Yeah, it takes a while to fill up because the big green eco vents and green eco blobs are really rare.
Right.
Going back to those drums, did you see those eggs? There's like a vertical line of eggs going up the drum. Did anyone try and get them? Because I was there for ages trying to jump high enough to
I
get
understand
those.
what you said.
The precursor, the orbs, or are you talking about like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The precursor orbs.
I thought eggs.
I call
I'm
them
like
eggs.
eggs.
Eggs. Easter eggs.
I don't think you can get them all from that height. The drum in the middle
No, you can't.
extends when you do something underground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when.
No,
yeah,
it
because
shoo-
I was
it-
going
it
to say
shoots you
later
up.
when you're in the temple,
Yeah,
it shoots you through. Yeah.
Exactly.
And when I came up, I was like, I'm so glad I didn't waste any more time trying to figure out how to get all these bloody eggs.
I know what you mean now, Cherry. And yes, I did actually, when I was younger playing this game, would be there for like probably 30 minutes or so trying to jump and spin kick
Yes.
in just the right combination to get up there.
Okay, so eventually you get to that blue eco lightning plaque, the one, and you have to get the blue eco and then go up to that plaque. Yes.
The bridge.
Yes. Oh, that part. That's like a long distance marathon right there.
Yes, like my heart always beats really fast. Like all those sort of timed tasks, I can't stand because you just know the timer is going to run out and you're going to be screwed.
And I'll tell you what, I
Right.
think Jak and Daxter, the franchise, is the only game like that has that effect on me. Like even I've played them so many times, but I still get like my heart jumps and like, oh my god, am I gonna make it?
Really?
Right.
I don't know. I just get really into it. I like lose myself and like almost.
It's also the timer, because you have the timer in the right in your right corner down, and it shows you the eco, and because it's flashing.
I think.
Yeah, when it's very low.
I didn't even know there was that.
And
I just know it's in my head and I'm thinking this is going to run out.
I think also that's why they make a lot of these like 3D platformer protagonists mute, so you can like project yourselves into them and like further lose yourself in the
Yes.
game.
Actually, that's why
Definitely.
Jack was mute in the first game.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, those behind
So
the
they-
scene
Oh,
videos.
well, see, there you go.
And they wrote it into the story later that he was mute. I
Yes,
guess they were kind of
that
going.
brings up another point.
Yeah.
Carry on, Jess. What were you saying?
I was just going to say that's like what they did with the Legend of Zelda. That's the reason why Link doesn't talk.
I never thought about that. Yeah, that
You
is
know-
clever.
You know,
Because it can be to any personality then.
it's weird that they're kind of like similar as like character and looks, like in at least in the first game. Like the only talking you
Yeah.
hear is him grunting and fighting and whatever.
Ah, yeah.
Blonde
Yeah.
hair, blue eyes, and long ears. It's weird.
I like that they make it a plot point too in the sequels to like point it out that Jack used to be mute.
Right.
Oh, I love that. I think that really made the games so much
Yeah,
better
actually,
because they pointed
yeah,
that
because
out.
actually the major thing that changed from 1 to 2 was the voice. Okay, and the looks as well, but the voice was the big change, and they blame it on the Dark Eco experiment that they did on him.
I mean, the very first thing Jack says is, "I'm going to kill Praxis." That's like, wow.
that's
That was hardcore.
Yeah, it's a bold
that's
statement.
the biggest meme of all in Jak and Daxter history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, the mission is to get up to the top of the tower.
Okay, so first of all, it's the only place in the whole game that you can see most of the game. I mean, you just go up there and you can even see as far away as Snowy Mountain. Yeah, you really need to press the triangle when you get up there and just observe.
With the day and night, if you just watch the sun, have you like watched the sun like it comes up bit by bit? I thought that was really cool. They didn't just sort of flash.
Yeah,
it
but
into
the
the
lighting
sky.
effect the sun does, it's fake in a way. It doesn't come from the sun. It's all around the area. But it's okay. It's the limitations of PlayStation 2, of course.
Right.
Yeah, they did do a really good job with the landscaping for the animation, even if Jason Rubin was only in charge of particles.
Yeah, but the whole no loading screens thing is magnificent and very, very impressive for 2001 time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of my favorite things to do, I don't know why, was just to get in the water and just keep jumping up and down. I really loved watching the splash animation. I mean, they did put a lot of detail into small things like that.
That is so
Yeah.
innocent.
But don't go too deep. You know what happens if you go too deep.
Oh, yeah.
Impending doom.
I don't know. Just when you start hearing that heartbeat noise, it's like, you know what? Time to get out of the water.
Yeah.
Oh, something I noticed that I hadn't really noticed before is the fact that if you come out of the water or you stand under a waterfall, I think the water droplets, they like stick to the camera for a short time.
Oh, that's cool. That's such a nice little detail.
I noticed there's a lot of cutscenes in Jak 2 and 3 that have that too. On the camera,
Right.
the water on the camera. They use it for like a cinematic effect.
That is
I thought it
cool.
was pretty cool. Those games are really cinematic. I think that's why I love them
Yeah.
so much, because I love movies.
Yeah,
Right.
because also it's a Sony property. Sony's games are all cinematic. Just look at God of War, Horizon
Why are
Zero
their
Dawn.
games so much better than their movies? Oh my god! Like Sony hasn't put out a good movie in years.
Good question.
To be fair, Jason Rubin did say that they
Yeah,
wanted
they
it
do.
to just be like a playable movie, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's very much the vibe I get. Even from this first one, it plays out like a kid adventure, like very
Yeah.
first kid adventure. Almost kind of like the
Right.
first the Sonic movie
Oh,
that
I
just
saw
came
that.
out.
That was rubbish. Okay, so now we're in the lift. I thought this is obviously how they navigate some load screens, isn't it? Just waiting around in that lift, walking about.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind them. Like you sort of
Probably.
roll around.
I mean, you can tell too because you will cut directly to like an overhead view. The camera won't like move; it'll go directly cut to the overhead view
Right.
as you're being lowered down.
That's why they cut back to Jak and Daxter sitting in the speedboat when you're on your way to Misty Island.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't see Misty Island loading up, but it still has a flow. In other words.
I just want to point it out that the creepiest factor of all with me are the fishes. And the big one and the small ones.
That's funny. Like you guys have the strangest ticks for this game. I wouldn't have guessed the fishes, and I wouldn't have guessed the snakes.
Oh well. Oh well.
Well, the snakes in the game are pretty creepy. I mean, at least for
They got
for
giant
a
heads. Oh my
cartoony
gosh.
kind of style, they're still pretty creepy.
They remind me of the Jungle Book ones.
They look like the snake. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, the how was the name of the snake in Mowgli?
Ka.
Ka, yeah.
Yeah, Ka. Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay, so
Okay, nice.
in the lift, we've now started the next mission, which is to kill the flower bad guy. I can't remember the exact name, but that's what I put down.
Dark Eco Plant.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, actually, the first mission
You don't
is
even-
to open the blue vent. Because without
Yes.
the blue eco, you cannot go to the plant.
Okay, I'll just accept it.
I will tell you what. I'll get randomly stuck on this mission too because I just can't time the jumps right, and I keep falling through the floor. Instant kill.
And the dark pit of death that Jack's shouting when he's falling, yeah.
Yes.
Right. I just kind of stumbled on the plant, actually.
Yeah, just walking around this
Yeah.
temple, just found
Yeah.
this giant
I
flower plant monster.
I didn't know what was there. I'm all like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't
It's on
check
now.
back the missions at all, like to see, oh, have I done one? I just kept on going through the temple, and then, yeah, there was a plant at the end.
I mean, and yeah, this is a pretty decent, I think, opponent for a first boss
It
in a
is.
kid's
Yeah,
game.
I mean,
It is, though.
it is really easy,
It's actually
but it
really
is good.
difficult.
What?
Those bugs, the little bugs with the spikes that come out, them the way gets me.
Yeah, 'cause
every
I kept
single time.
hitting
you
it
can't
and then
attack
dying.
them directly.
You have to wait until the spikes to go back into the shells before you can hit them.
And what's terrifying about that is while you're trying to dodge the bugs, the plant could swoop down and just eat you whole in one hit. It'll just one shot you.
Yeah, and then you have to go straight back to the start.
Well, I think the funniest fact of all in this boss for me is the hidden orbs inside of the plant.
Yes, when he's dead.
You have to jump on his head.
I discovered those like way later though. Like when I came back to get, I just went through the room.
Where are they?
I wasn't expecting that, and I did something. I jumped by accident, and then the orbs came out. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you get like
Cool.
5,
Yeah, exactly.
don't you? You have to keep jumping on him.
That is a
To
good
kill him
concept.
anyway, you've got to wait until you've got to wait for those spiked things to be killed, and then you can jump onto the leaves and punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Right.
For whatever reason, bosses in these games love to like hold poses for a long time and be vulnerable.
Okay, on to the fisherman. CJ, will you take us through, please?
Well, this little guy wants us to collect some fish for him because he's too lazy to do it himself in exchange for letting us use his boat to get to Misty Island.
I
So,
love that you say.
how-
I love that you said this little guy, like he's enormous.
Yeah, this little guy. And what is it? Do you have to? Is it 200 pounds of
Yeah,
fish?
exactly. 200 pounds of fish.
Well, I was gonna say too. One thing that I do that kind of sort of helps me is I'm very delicate with the analog stick. I try not to move it very
Exactly.
much.
That's
And-
the only
Right.
trick. That's the only trick. In the
Unless
that can
unless
do.
you really have to jump from one distance from one side of the screen to the other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
But I have to say one thing about the fisherman, that actually has one of the best voice acting in the game. Like I really, really like his voice. Like the way he says his lines are so like a true fisherman of the sea. You know.
Your sails are
Yeah.
sagging in the
He
wind,
got
boy.
into character.
Yeah. And if you go to his house,
He could have been on like SpongeBob or something.
Right, right.
It's like Mr. Krabs. It's
Exactly.
Like having the same voice.
I have the actor who voices the fisherman pulled up here. He apparently is known for voicing Batman in the DC animated in the Batman animated series.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
okay, so another power cell comes from connecting the beams.
And there's also there's a hidden power cell like on a little tiny island. If you follow the river off the map, you collect that.
And also another hidden power cell behind the machine in a small door.
Oh, there's also some precursor orbs too behind the island too. Like you have to dive down and get them on the ocean
Right.
floor.
Okay, so we get on the generator, we get across to the mirror, we smash it, and then we go down and we do the thing with the beams, like directing where they're gonna go next.
Exactly.
Oh my god. And I would hate too because the controls are inverted when you like look into the thing. It's just a little harder to control. I hate it when games do that.
Well, you can actually
when they invert the
you can
controls.
actually change that in the options. Actually, if you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't play with inverted controls unless I'm flying a plane or something. It just doesn't feel
Why
right.
do they do that?
Well, because the older games, they were all inverted because it was like flying planes and stuff that mostly had that game mechanic.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So the third one is next to the palace. Then the fourth one is on the other side where the first dark crate was. And then the fifth one is on the beach, outside of the jungle. And then there is the last one on the hills, outside in the Sandover village.
But it's weird because technically you're in the jungle part of the map, but those orbs count towards as part of Sandover Village. Did you guys ever do that Jak 2 glitch where you could go in Sandover Village?
What, in Jak 2?
Yeah. And if you go around to the spots in Sandover Village where barrels were, you'll find Crimson Guard crates instead.
Oh, that's cool. Moving on to correspondence now, we've got some feedback from a listener called Andrew Sullivan. One of his comments was, human Daxter grown up would look much better, ugly ducklings and such. Being cowardly is not shameful when Jak was the one who got them both on the island.
I don't know. I like to think that they were always going to end up there no matter what because they were just little boys getting into trouble and Samos told them not to go. So, of course, they're going to be like, oh, now we have to go.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't really see how Jak being the one that brought them there makes it less shameful to be cowardice, but then I don't really think it was.
I mean,
a
it's
shameful...
nothing to be ashamed of, to be scared. Did we
it's
say
like,
that?
No, I don't think so.
Did
I think they
Exactly.
would have both been anyway.
Because okay,
It's just who showed it.
Oh, I'm sorry. One thing I gotta say about Daxter, there's argument about him whether he's a good or a bad sidekick, good or bad friend, But one thing I have to say about him is he really, though he may be kind of cowardly and whatever, he never really left Jack's side. When
shit gets real, like in Jak 3, he's ready to die with Jack.
Exactly. He's never actually ran away from him. With the only exception being when he knew he couldn't, take on all the guards, like when he got arrested at the very beginning of Jak 2. So he ran away and said, "I'll find you."
He saved him before he knew it.
And, he could have
2 years later.
He could have forgot about him in those 2 years. But
I mean, he almost did. Have you played
Yeah,
Daxter?
you know the reason? Because Daxter really wanted his own spin-off game. So he's like, oh, fuck off, I'm gonna make my spin-off game.
But
no, exactly no. He's long forgotten about Jak, and it's only by happenstance that he sees Jak in a prisoner transport that he even remembers that. Oh yeah, I gotta save Jak.
But that's a fault of Impact Games. So they developed the game. Naughty Dog has nothing to do with it. If Naughty Dog was in charge of Daxter, it will have a better plot.
Yeah, but I think if they've given permission, then they're
he's
responsible for whatever they produce. So
what, Daxter?
Yeah, it's crap, but it's kind of canon because they've given permission, so you just have to.
Yeah, Daxter is kind of a
it.
canon, but
I think Daxter's canon. I liked it overall. I mean, that little minor part is a little annoying, but overall, I think it's a pretty decent game. As a game, yeah, it works.
I'm referring more to the Lost Frontier. I haven't played Daxter.
yeah, as a gameplay perspective, it's one of the best PSP games, gameplay-wise.
Absolutely. That's the only reason I bought a PSP was to play Daxter.
Me too, and Ratchet the Clank. Those two games for PSP only. Yeah.
After that, I used my PSP as an MP3 player more than I used it as a game system.
Wow.
Oh my god, we had the same childhood then.
Okay, Sullivan also writes, Jak is not the Ma that was the original plan during the beginning of Jak 2's development, but eventually Naughty Dog decided to go a different direction and change their mind. Early plans are not canon.
But Jak 3 is the game that heavily implies that he is Mar. That makes no sense.
Yeah, because Jak lets Ashlyn believe that he is the Ma, because when she hears him say his name, she's like, what, Ma? As in
It's
the Ma?
That game literally is the game that poses that question.
I mean, Sullivan does go on to say about the lineage thing, because Damos says Jak is wearing the medallion, which is a sign of the
I'm sorry.
ancestry.
Yeah.
But
It is, though, implied at the end of Jak 2, though, when Samos says, we may meet Mar someday. He may be closer than you think.
yeah, I mean, it's so left open. I don't see how it was cut off. I don't know.
Which
I've not
means
seen any
Jak
evidence
in-
for it.
He'd really be his own ancestor, basically. Which is kind of weird to think about, but...
Yeah, it's a paradox. Actually, it's a whole paradox that Naughty Dog made.
But depending on how far back in time he went.
I mean, I think that would be a really great idea for the next game. Like, I don't see why you'd go in a different direction to sort of sorting out that Ma mess.
Yeah.
And just making up a good story for that. Because, I mean, in the last scene even, the precursors are saying how, they're going to have loads more adventures or in the future, or was it in the past? And, yeah, they just leave it open.
I think they could bring back Gaul and Maya at some point. They left that thread hanging.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because in the end...
Yeah, I mean, Samos is like, the Eco probably destroyed them.
Probably. Yeah, he's like, probably. So, yeah, who knows?
And on a purely commercial standpoint, Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy remains the best-selling game in the series by far.
That's surprising. I assumed it would do the worst.
Really? Even in Jak 2? Even than Jak 2? Wow.
Yeah, every Jak game sold progressively less.
Wow.
That's so weird, because Jak 2 was like the game for me. I didn't really pay attention to the first.
I mean, it still sold well, but it's still like a short of Jak and Daxter. Like, Jak and Daxter sold over like 2 million copies in the United States alone, and like 10 million copies worldwide, or something like that. So it wouldn't be too much of a like stretch to bring Gaul and Maya back. That's the only reason I bring that up, is because more people probably would still be familiar with those characters, maybe if if they have still any remembrance of this game in their mind.
Definitely, yeah.
So even if Jak and Daxter doesn't live on like within like a big commercial way, the fans we could definitely, I think, rise to the occasion and create the content ourselves.
Yeah, they are beefing.
I mean, you gotta start
A
somewhere.
lot of the times, fan games and fan films are better than the actual official studio releases of certain things. Game sequels, game movies. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess the passion for a Jak game just isn't there at Naughty Dog anymore.
No, because although, to be honest, I would think it would be better if, like you said, a fan developer, an indie developer, or even Insomniac Games themselves, because they gave the engine to Ratchet and Clank. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just an idea.
No, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
And there is a Crash Bandicoot sequel coming out. I'm not quite clear on. I forget who was making that one. What studio
Toys
that
for Bob
is.
is doing it from that they did the Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Oh, okay. So it's them again. All right, cool.
Okay, so that's all we have time for on correspondence, and so concludes episode 2 of Jak'd. If you have any feedback, you want to get in on the discussions or give some theories of your own, then please email the address I put in the link. Other than that, goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
You guys take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
You too.